Good evening. My name is Billy Meacham, and tonight I'm going to introduce to you a resource that I found that not only saved my marriage, it also helped me in my career. And that is love language communication. So what is all that about? Why would we need to learn about love languages? Isn't just saying, I love you enough to communicate to somebody that you really care about them? Well, the truth of it is each and every one of us has a different way that we understand and receive and give love. You see, the way that you give and receive love is going to differ from that of how your wife gives or receives love. And when we can figure out how to speak each other's love language, we're going to have a more fruitful life. I was reading in an article written by Blaine Fowler. He wrote an article for American behavioral scientist, and in that article, what he stated was that today in the United States, that the individual happiness is now interlinked with marriage happiness. And what he also expounded on was the fact that communication within the context of a marriage has two important factors. The first one is that communication is for sharing those deep feelings, for expressing the deep feelings between two people, but also for helping that couple get through the struggles of day-to-day life. Now, I found this book many years ago called The 5 Love Languages, The Secret to Love That Lasts. It was written by Gary Chapman, and he's an anthropologist who also is a pastor who ministers to couples. And over the years, what he found out was that men and women who are married often have difficulty communicating both love and respect with each other. And so he wrote this book that we're about to discuss tonight. So let's take a look at the love languages, how they work, and what they are. Okay, so the first love language are words of affirmation. And words of affirmation are when a person enjoys hearing that words of encouragement from that other person. So that they may be encouragement about yourself, about your work, about things that you do around the house. You see, it's very powerful when you say, you know, I love you because you're creative. Or I love the fact that you are a great team member. See, affirmation helps to reinforce that person's understanding that you love them. It lets them know that you're thinking about them and you can't help but express that. The next love language is quality time. Now, quality time means giving your undivided attention to that person. And examples of quality time would be not interrupting them, by giving them good eye contact. See, people who desire quality time want to know that they are worth you spending life's most important resource on them, and that's the time that you have on this earth. The next love language is receiving gifts. And who doesn't like to receive a gift? Right? Amen. A lot of holidays are about receiving gifts. However, the love language of receiving gifts is more about the thought and care that's put into finding just the right thing for just the right occasion. While it's great to receive the gift, it's also a sign that the person has been thinking about you. The next love language is acts of service. Acts of service as a love language are when someone helps another person out. It might be helping them to get the dishes done or getting the car ready for a long trip. The act of service is the kind of person who needs the reinforcement that in the struggles of life, that you're going to be with them shoulder to shoulder. Finally, the last love language is physical touch. People who communicate with this language are pretty easy to notice. They either like to hold hands, or maybe give a pat on the back, or put an arm around you, or maybe even a hug. But it isn't talking of physical touch. Is not about sexual love, or sexual touch, or sensual touch. It's about the desire to have that physical connection with another person, pressing the flesh in important ways. Can you see this up here? Can you see the love languages that are there of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, and receiving gifts? It's wonderful to know what communication looks like. And in his talk on answering objections to Christianity, Ravi Zacharias makes an important point, that marriage is a sacred union and the only relationship in which the full expression of love is given. You see, the English language has one word for love, but in Greek there are four. There's agape, which is divine godly love. There is phileo, which is friendship or brotherly love. There is storge, which is that protection, parental love. And then there is eros, which is a romantic love. And as Christians, we have the privilege to express love in all of these profound forms. In our actions and with our words, in our personal and professional relationships, we can express the love of God. So what are you waiting for? It's really a no-brainer. We need to learn to love and communicate clearly. If we communicate clearly with the language of love, we can influence the whole world with the love of God, one conversation at a time. Invest in learning the love languages. You can go to the website here at 5lovelanguages.com and to learn more. Thank you for listening.